Hello, everybody, and welcome to Dungeon of the Mad Mage. It is Thursday night here on Tales from the Grim. We are back with the second episode of our second season. I've got my friends with me tonight. We're going to have a little fun playing the dungeons, and if we can find them, some dragons. But before we get forward in the story, we have to go back a bit. Recap is very, very easy. Last week, in the season premiere, the group fought a member of the Seven. The Seven being the group that they were sent into Undermountain to catch, stop, thwart. It was a pretty hectic battle, but with the help of each other and the Legion, they were able to see it through. At the end of the episode, Dirna Hall, the White Witch who had been guiding them through these upper levels of Undermountain, disappeared, as did the remainder of the Seven, including the person they were fighting, a person that Kyogen, our barbarian, knows to be his father. But as we left the majority of the group, they were standing inside the throne room of the Druid of Willowwood. She apparently was lying prostrate on the floor beside an equally downed Displacer Beast. And as the shiny human Gorbrin looked around, we ended our session with that group, with him recognizing that the Druid was reaching towards a multi-toothed key. And as we pulled out of that area, we went to a very different pocket of the plains, where there was a beautiful table set. There was the smell of cooking vegetables spiced to perfection in the southern way. And as Dirna Hall found herself sitting at this table built for two, none other than Hallister Blackcloak came out with a bottle of wine, popped the cork, and set two crystal wine glasses down the table. We're going to pick up with that sit down in just one moment, but before we go further, I will let you know if there's some way that you would like to interact with the story to help or hinder our group, please look right down and you can see our donation table. Otherwise, sit back and enjoy yourselves, and while we're talking, know that we're going to be rolling. Most of us are going to be rolling real dice. Those real dice are, in fact, diehard dice. You'll be noticing that there will be a promo code flashing up in the chat. There will also be one straight down if you're watching on YouTube. They're the best. Grab you a couple of them. I guarantee they will occasionally roll 20s. And now, without further ado, we go into Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Kika, welcome. Dirna Hall is sitting at a table, very elegant. There's everything, dinner fork, salad fork, everything's arranged perfectly. And you can hear and smell things being prepared in the shadowy periphery of where you are looking. But the only person in your vision is Hallister Blackcloak as he takes a seat, somebody that you had met several days prior in another similar vision. He sits down and pops the cork on a bottle of wine.
I cast guidance on myself.
He simply looks over and begins to pour the wine out. It appears to be a red. He pours it in both glasses and kind of gestures to one to see if you would like it. He has not said a word yet.
Heck it. I will carefully take the glass, sample the bouquet, and then take a sip.
Fantastic. It tastes like a very good vintage. You got a hint of, it has an earthy quality to it, but nothing out of the ordinary, no clutching at your throat because of poison. He nods and drinks some himself, sets the glass down, kind of pushes the bottle in between the two of you. He looks, and with a finger kind of tracing the lip of his own cup, he finally speaks. I'm afraid we don't have much time, Dirna Hall.
Oh, what a travesty that news is.
It is Games are aside now, my friend. This group that you are chasing, this 7, I think they're here to kill me.
It is very likely. It also seems like they want to, destabilize all of magic, at least arcane magic.
As soon as you mention that, he begins to nod sagely, as if he has made the correct assumption that you already are on the same path as he. I have divined the same. I think they know what I've been up to somehow, and they're coming to bastardize my work.
Yes, that does seem to be what they are intending. They also keep saying that I'm not supposed to be here.
They don't
get
like
very
you either.
Upset by it.
Dear Hall, that is why you are here. I have a proposition for you.
What sort of proposition?
Stop these 7. I'll teach you everything I know.
Can I get that in writing?
He reaches into his vest and pulls out what looks to be some type of scroll tube, the edge of which is glowing red. I figured as much. And he pushes it over to you.
I activate my Eldritch Sight as I check the scroll tube and what is inside.
It is definitely what he is saying. There is what appears to be a contract. It is not dated, though, as any measure, but roll an Arcana check for me as you're taking a look at this document, which has raised glyphs that seem to be coming off the page.
That is a 23.
It appears to be a spell or some type of construction of Hallister's own design. It looks to be a self-inflicting curse. If he fails to live up to his end of the bargain, it appears that something very bad will happen to Hallister Blackcloak.
But will something bad happen to me if I don't fulfill my side of the bargain?
It doesn't look that way.
Oh, that's very interesting. Sort of hunch over this.
Roll an insight check for me, Kika.
Oh, I do like insight, though I'm not too good at it. 19?
You don't know this man. You've met him once. He seemed more frazzled, more arrogant, more eccentric the last time you met him. If you had to make a guess by his mannerisms right now, you would say he's afraid.
I find these terms to be acceptable.
Good, then keep it.
I mean, do I sign it? Does anyone date it?
We're wizards and magic users, Deanna Hall. What do we have need for conventional? You don't need to sign anything. Do you accept?
I believe I just said that I did.
I accept as well. And you hear a hum. Now, you will do your best to thwart them. I will do my best to prepare you for such.
One thing that has been on my mind, though, they have been traveling via the weave itself. I was thinking perhaps there could be some way to knock them out into places they were not expecting to end up. Places that are dangerous, where they could be ambushed, or places where they could not survive.
It's possible the entirety of my domain is warded against such travel, but they have been able to thwart it in a limited effect. This teleportation and transportation that they have been utilizing is not something that is widespread, otherwise I fear they would be at my doorstep. They are not. They hop. They do not dive. But I like where your head is, where you're thinking. We can figure out a way to push them out of their transportation. This is a very dangerous place. I have other guardians, albeit unknowingly, that could attempt to stop them as well, but I fear they are too powerful, too wise, and too determined to fall to mere numbers or savagery. That's why I need you, dear Nahal.
Well, it is quite flattering that you would find myself capable of taking down a group that seems to trouble you.
But they fear you. You and your group. If you were so beneath them, they wouldn't be spending their time that seems to take them away from their quest to, I am to believe them, murder me. They become distracted by you and yours. That's something very powerful.
I had assumed that they were either idiots or racist.
We could only hope that they are idiots. I fear that is not the case, though. I believe that they are here to kill the weave, in addition to myself.
Yep, that does seem to be the case. By the way, do you want your cursed sword back?
No. Thank you.
Okay.
There's a way. You're going to be stumbling upon that Skullport soon. When you get there, there is a dwarven stronghold, a drow stronghold within the dwarven fortress side. I need you to enter into the drow stronghold. I believe there are some items there that could help you. I would get them myself, but it appears that they have trapped me in the lower levels.
How did they manage to do that?
They killed all of my clones. I am not facing them outside of my lair.
Very interesting. How much time do we have before I need to get going?
He looks over, and at this point you notice that that translucent area of the wine, as it's going through the wine bottle, it's kind of a green-hued bottle. You notice that the level of wine is dropping towards the tabletop. You have a few moments more.
Oh, I was hoping I would have time to get to know you a bit better.
Perhaps if I can gather my strength and you can capture what is in the drow stronghold. I believe that would help us focus and speak. Perhaps not actually materially in the physical, but at the very least hold a conversation like this one. But a couple things before. This group, they've already begun to poison the weave. I know that you have been looking into it and seeing through their illusions. This is fascinating to me, as I have not been able to do this. I believe the drow stronghold will hold a focusing stone that will enable us to communicate and help you in your education, what it is they are doing. In
And
addition,
if it's not there, I can always send you a sending.
I don't believe it'll get to me, but you have surprised me before. You can figure out how to speak through the weave. Perhaps. Signal, a beat, a pulse of some kind. They may be able to hear it, but perhaps. But in addition, when they destroyed my clones, they employed a thought they were undead at first. And that was my undoing, but they... powerful. They did not stop according to the laws of the undead. I don't have more information. If we speak again, I hope to be able to provide you with such, but when they get closer, you will see something that looks like this. And he holds out his hand, and you see what looks like a green burning ember float and kind of drift in the air. They seem to hold powerful properties. Fire and elemental. Explosions and... unlike anything I've ever seen. They are not constructs, they are not undead, they are something else. They hold them close to them and travel with them in packs. I be leery of them.
I will. Well, before I have to go, perhaps you could give me something to remember you by.
I am not really here.
Oh, that's disappointing.
I will tell you that
putting silverware in her pockets.
It feels like you're putting it in your pockets. He reaches into a robe, one of the many kind of, you see the lines, and you, a lot of wizard robes have pockets that also double as spell components and quick use kind of little containers. He reaches in, kind of fishes around in one, and as he pulls up, you see clutched between his pointer and middle and ring and pinky, 3 long strands of hair. 1 red, 1 blonde, and 1 brown.
I immediately snatch them.
Your hand passes through these. I will let you know this. And it seems that the brown and red kind of curl around, but the blonde remains out, and he holds it and dangles it. This is the silver hand. And the brown drops, and this is the black staff. But I believe you already have one of those.
That is true.
And the red? The red is for another time. He begins to fade.
Are the hairs on the, in front of me anywhere?
He seems to be holding them, and anything on his person doesn't appear to be, you can't affect it, fortunately.
Well, while he's fading, I'll just activate my Eldritch Sight and look around for anything interesting.
Roll me another Arcana check as you are looking around you this time, as opposed to...
So that is 24.
It appears that the good Hallister pulled you out of whatever transportation you were conducting and drew you into some type of pocket. This is an unstable planar pocket, akin to, a magnificent mansion or a tiny hut. It has a time limit to it before it disintegrates and returns to whatever ether it was conjured from.
Dear Nahal is just gonna feel really disappointed and wait for it to diminish and disappear.
Okay. As you do, we will bring in everybody else. As the rest of you are sitting inside the throne room in the Willowwood, Dear Nahal seems to walk out of the shadows. Not so much transporting herself, the shadows seem to walk away from her. and she is there, as is Hemelig.
Hi.
If it was anyone else, I would be surprised, but at this point, this just seems natural for you. So, update, Goblin found a key, and there are these two here already when we came in, and Amber's not coming back. You're all caught up.
Okay.
Peregrine, where are you?
Oh, Barry's gone.
Okay. Update from my end. There is a crate of supplies in Skullport, which will help us, and we should probably, find a way to murder those people we're chasing.
How did you
What?
find that out?
No, we're not gonna murder them. Not all of them.
Well, it doesn't have to be all of them, just enough so that they can't complete their plan.
No, what plan? What are you...
Wouldn't
The
say
plan
that's
to
all of them.
destabilize the weave.
My brother wants to take over the Feywild.
Yeah, that's
What?
not great.
Nah, I don't mind.
I kind of do.
Well, it's not my business, but I don't know.
I mean, I
Yeah,
don't want to
so-
murder him, but I don't think he realizes what a crap job ruling the Feywild is. So
Where did you come from?
The weave.
And how do you know about these crates in Skullport?
Well, I was told about him.
By
Hallister.
Hallister Blackcloak told you about crates in Skullport.
Yeah. He also gave me some wine. It was pretty good.
man, I could use some wine right now.
Oh, I have a bottle of wine. I
What?
say I need to pick out that bottle of wine that I got back at that goblin's place.
Oh my god, the soup goblin. Forgot all about him.
Augustus!
Oh my god, you've been holding out on me.
Well, no
Okay.
one asked for any.
Well, I didn't know you had it. Let's drink it later after I find Perry. Can I look for Perry?
Sure, sure. Roll me a perception or investigation.
Okay. Go roll.
Gorbrin, you were the one that noticed the key. Has anybody retrieved that? Or are you
I'm gonna
looking
look at it,
Okay.
but I'm not gonna touch it yet. I want to try to inspect it to see if there's anything wrong with it or if there's some sort of enchantment.
Do you
Absolutely.
want
Go ahead and
someone
roll
to
me
look at that key using their magic eyes?
I'll do it myself, thank you.
But I have
Roll it.
magic eyes.
Okay.
She's
He
literally,
doesn't
like,
trust you
trying
right
to-
now because you were just like nonchalant about Blackcloak.
Well, he didn't do anything rude to me. He even seemed willing to curse himself for me, which was very nice, I thought.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's
I
a big-
rolled 15.
Okay,
I'm a
with-
divine sense the key. So,
Okay. If
As-
you want to roll
as-
investigation, you can too. I'm sorry. Go
as-
ahead, Jason.
As Gorbin looks at it, I cast light on it. Just to screw with him.
I can see just fine right now. There's plenty of light in here. I appreciate it. I know that I'm the only one in here who doesn't see in the dark, but you know what? Never mind. Thank you.
But you have that monocle.
He puts it on.
You
I
have
look
a
I look
terrible.
ridiculous. That's a nat 20 on that investigation check.
Well, the monocle worked then, didn't it? It looks like a lost cause until the monocle comes into place, and then all is revealed. No, you don't see anything beyond the key. There are what looks like arcane glyphs along the back end. It seems to have like an oval kind of finger hold on the back. Very few teeth on the key. Even by the standard of the day, it would be considered a very rudimentary lock. You know, something that would require so few tumblers. But beyond that, it's probably made of some type of precious metal. You would guess there's definite gold and silver inside the key's makeup.
I'm gonna pick it up and then
Do
put
I
it in
get
my
any
pouch.
magic off of it with my magic eyes?
A slight magic aura kind of comes off of it. That isn't the light spell. The light spell is
Yeah.
radiates, but beyond that, you
Flame
can
is on
see
the
it.
right.
Gorbrand. Awfully brave of you to pick up a magic key like that.
With a 15 on the investigation for Garnet, you do not see any evidence of Perry, but as you're looking around, by God, there's the old trail you've been following since the bottom of the well, basically. That same trail that seems to be well beyond that of just pacing and footfalls. It seems like you are locked onto some type of essence of the seven. And you can see it disappearing behind this throne to points unknown.
Okay, well that's not very useful for me right now. Okay. Well they went that way, but I can't leave. Not till we find Perry.
Can't you like cast a spell to find him or something?
I don't have a spell.
You could use a sending spell to contact him.
I don't have a spell. I'm not.
He's not a magic user.
I
Dear.
can.
Doesn't need to be a magic user for us to cast magic to find him.
Well, okay, if one of you would like to, but have the spell, but I just can't find them, and they are pathetic, like right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna use sending to try to contact him. And it's just, Perry, where are you? Please respond. Deerna Hall.
You get a response back, but you can tell that it's severed almost immediately. It says, with them, her, and that's it.
Okay, he's with the bad guys.
Oh my god, okay. Stupid idiot.
Yeah, well, I mean,
We have to go. They're gonna kill them, and they're not allowed to. Only I'm
Yeah.
allowed to.
yeah, let's go.
See, we.
Karis and Kyogen. I need to know Kyogen's state of mind right now as the rage has fled. The battle, the physical one anyway, is over. And it seems that of all of the group, Kyogen and Karis they had a lot revealed during the battle with the Seven, considering that they are both apparently the sole survivors of their places of origin. What's going through the heads of Kyogen and Karis?
Right now, Kyogen's really confused, hence the attempt at frivolity with Gorbrand, because he's never met his match in a fight, and he's a bit taken back by the fact that it was his father. He's just sort of taking things in, and he felt something really odd during that battle that sort of came over him, that he's always been one-minded in his pursuit of vengeance against whoever caused the tragedy that befell his village, and very focused, single purpose in trying to get through that and explore whatever it takes to get to the bottom of whatever happened. And there, even in the point of the revelation that it was his father that orchestrated it, he's still, some part of him in the moment of his rage and the falling into the darkness, something clinged to the light. And that's why, even with as much crap as he gives Gorbrand, his shiny human, he ceased his attack, which for him is very difficult to do when he's raging, to bring Gorbrin back from the brink of death. And that was a big sort of epiphany for him, if a barbarian can have an epiphany. It was very much, am I fighting for the sake of fighting, or am I fighting for my newfound family? So he's just sort of off in a corner. He's got his little sister's music box, and he's listening to the music, just trying to recuperate from the battle.
Okay. And as those notes kind of hang in the air, we'll go over to Karis, the note maker of the group. How is the bard doing?
Well, I mean, she only really learned one new thing, and that thing was like disappointed but not surprised. So she's pretty much just maintaining her usual level of like stoicness, almost. Like for a bard, she's not really showy and smiley. Like when she smiles, it's ice cold. So she's kind of like very proper posture, shoulders back, chin up, and surveying everything with a cool glance when she sees Kyogen over in the corner, moping, as she would say. She quietly plods over to him, stands next to him with her hands behind her back, says, Kyogen, I know that this was terrible for you to go through, but since we have known each other for so long, I know that it is best for you for me to not leave until you talk to me about it. So I'm going to wait here until you're ready to say some words about what you just experienced, so that we can move on and kill your father later. And she waits patiently for him to speak.
He's sort of head hung low with the music box in his hand, and knowing from his history with Karis that she really means what she said. She's never going to walk away. He sort of lifts his head up and just pulls his hair back. You know, it's strange. For most of my life, all I've ever wanted was vengeance. To get back at whoever did these things to my family and my clan. And there I was in that moment. And I had my father's maul in hand, ready to strike him down. And all I could think about was not letting Gorbrin die, which was very odd. It's like, I don't know.
I think you know the word that you're looking for, Kyogen. And I understand that you might be afraid to say it because you haven't had it for so long. So you will take your time getting there. But I think we both know exactly what you mean. And it's not a bad thing to admit.
I guess I just worry that if I let anyone in again and just have a family again, that something will happen to them too.
Well, you've let me in. And you haven't let anything happen to me yet. Like, I mean, look at everything we've gone through in this wretched place. I've been hit like once, maybe. I'm doing fine, and I will admit, like between you and me, it will be a little bit harder to protect Gorbrin just because he is such a martyr and likes to run in just willy-nilly in order to, protect us, which is noble and sweet, but like, he will give you constant heart attacks and anxiety because of it. But vulnerability can be strength. Plus, it just makes for a way better story if you like actually branch out and have a family. So, you should talk to him. You don't have to tell him everything that's happened to you. I'm not sure you've even told me everything that's happened to you, which is fine. I don't judge. But just have a little heart-to-heart with the guy, huh? Plus, I think he could use, some friends other than Garnet, who is a sweetheart, and that woman he's obsessed with up topside. So, I think it could be a benefit to all of us involved.
I think if he just learned to depend on the rest of us, that he'd realize he didn't always have to try and sacrifice himself.
I could say the same of you, Kyogen.
And in a brief moment of just you can almost hear like a popping sound as a light bulb pops on above his head. He just sort of looks to the right and looks to the left and looks back at her and squints.
Mm-hmm.
His shoulders slump a bit as he realizes that she's right.
Yeah, there it is. She gives him a pat on the head. You'll get there. Just takes a little bit of thinking, and thinking's rough, I know, but character development and all of that is good stuff.
So, have you seen what is the deal with the sleeping lady?
She looks over her shoulder. Does she look dead?
You would have to get closer.
I shrug and waltz over to see
Everyone
if she's
roll a
dead.
Perception check for me.
Woohoo!
I have a question. Do I have to roll one if my passive perception is 25?
Yeah, because you're upset about Perry right now.
Okay, that's fair.
I got
16.
12.
That's a 20.
Okay. As Karis gets close to inspect the fallen elven woman, anybody that got above a 15, you realize that neither the woman nor the beast beside her, their sides are not expanding and contracting with the inhalation and exhalation of breath. And Karis, when you get there, they certainly look expired.
So here's the thing.
Sure.
With my level up, I did some shifting of my spells, and I took Speak with Dead, which I didn't have before.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'll definitely let you use it because I love Speak with Dead.
We love Speak with Dead. We love it.
Yeah, speak
Oh,
with
but oh no, I took my long rest and I literally had 0 spell slots left. So I'm technically fresh out, like done.
Okay, well,
So-
there's a morbid way to do this,
Mm-hmm.
and that
Just
is
take a nap.
take a long rest with the corpse, and then when you wake up, talk to the corpse.
Okay, cool.
But
cool,
I'm
cool,
not
cool,
in the
cool.
party, and I can't make any of those.
Yeah.
We can't. Please don't kill my boyfriend.
So here's the thing, everybody. I could speak to this lady, but I think we're all pretty beat up, and I'm about fresh out of all the lovely fairy dust that makes me do fun things. So, if we would like to speak with her,
We take her with us. Agreed.
No, we are
I
not
mean, we
taking
can.
corpses with us.
I mean,
Honest-
what is she gonna tell us? That they killed her and they went that way because that's what happened.
Does no one have like a gentle repose spell so the body stays fresh?
nope.
Eh.
I'm sorry. You can talk to the next dead person. But
Oh,
like,
I'm sure there will be plenty. That is not what I'm worried about. Just wanted to put out the option.
I'm really worried about Perry.
You
And also
should
my
be. He's weak and
brother.
scrawny.
Yeah, he wasn't as scrawny before, but anyway.
While they're talking, I'm going to activate my Eldritch Sight and check this person's pockets.
As anticipated, it seems as if there had been anything on this person, it's no longer on this person.
This person was looted.
Yes, you remember that this person was carrying a staff, and this person also had a mirror with 3 faces on it. None of those things seem present, nor there doesn't seem to be anything in the pockets. The robe
They
itself
took
does
her
not seem.
staff and her mirror. Well, let's take her with us.
No, we're not going
If we
to.
don't take her with us, we're just leaving a body out here to rot and get torn apart.
No, because I'm about to take this corpse and the other one and bury them as
That's
Those
gonna
same
take
people
a
were
really
there.
long time too. Can't we just set them on fire and just
No.
go?
You don't even know how they would prefer to be put away in their own culture, so you can't assume that burning or burying would be any better for them.
I'm
So
You
we
can
need
ask
to
them.
speak with them and ask.
Yes, exactly. So, Gorbrin, in order to best respect the wishes of the dearly departed, I suggest we take them along with us and then find out all we can and then do them the favor of disposing of them the way that they would wish to. Wouldn't you like the same to be done for you, were you to pass untimely?
not arguing about this. And he like
Excellent.
grabs
Excellent.
one
Kyogen,
of the
take the body.
bodies. He's grabbing them and takes them down the stairs.
Is there any attempt to stop Gorbrin from grabbing? I'm going to need an athletics check to grab both a druid and a
Gorbrin.
displacer beast.
So Kyogen
Stop being so
reaches out-
selfish, okay?
Kyogen reaches out and grabs him by the shoulder. Shiny human. Regardless of what's going on, we need to rest. And he looks over at Garnet. I know that you're clinging to one of the few things that you have left that you love in this world. But we can't go forward right now. Many of us are deeply, deeply hurt. I know I am. I believe others are as well. We need to rest regardless.
Yes, his dad did a big ouchie on me.
Fine. We'll rest here then.
I would offer the comfort of my little hut, but as I said, I'm all out, so all I can offer you is, I don't know, tunes.
You can cast that as a ritual.
I can! Ah, I always forget that ritual casting is in because I never play spellcasters. Also, I sit down and I play my pan flute, and
And I take notes.
it's the same song. I make sure that Diarna can see the fingering that I'm using on the and then I do the same song that played out of Kyogen's music box because it's the night song.
And as the night song concludes after, about 10 minutes, there is Karis's tiny yurt, or whatever it was that we had agreed upon.
Chicken legs
Gorbrin's
with a waffle pit in the middle.
Gorbrin's gonna look at Kyogen. It's like it says, I will rest later, and then tries to shrug him off and head downstairs.
With or without the bodies, out of curiosity.
With them, he's taking them.
Oh my god, could you please just wait?
If we're gonna wait here, you might as well we might as well get the information out of them.
Then cast the spell, because I am not going to let them sit here and rot while
I
we
cannot
rest.
cast a spell until I sleep, Gorbrin.
It's fine. They're not gonna.
One day won't hurt them. It's not even a day, it's a few hours.
Gorbrin, come with me. We need to talk. It won't
he
take
kinda
long.
grips at the corpses as if he's trembling at this point.
It won't take long. And if you really want to bury these corpses after we're done talking, I won't stop you, but we need to talk.
Maybe you should talk to him, my friend, says the sword in your possession.
He'll put the bodies down gently on the ground. He'll take the scabbard with the sword on it. He'll look at it, look to her with this hurt look on his face and say, "Succotash," and then just toss her the sword and head downstairs.
Garnet will take the sword and follow Corbin.
As soon as you take the sword, Garnet, you hear, "I didn't say succotash. I didn't say it. I said it earlier, but I didn't."
It's okay. It's okay. Let me talk to him, okay?
Okay.
Boss?
Pulls out his pipe, starts to light it.
It's hard for you to be around corpses like that, right? Because of the stuff that you won't tell me about, which is fine. I don't need to know about it. I don't need to know your history.
I'm sure you already know by now anyway.
I mean, I know some stuff. Rumors, whatever. Doesn't matter to me.
I am not going to use corpses for my own gain, even if it...
I know, it's okay.
I'm not going to do that again.
I know, boss. It's okay.
And usually you see him just go inward on himself, but you see that he's starting to break down. And his breathing is starting to get rapid.
She's gonna go put her arms around. He's like a foot taller than her. She's gonna put her arms around his waist and give him a hug. Look, Gorbrin. I know this is rough. I know it's hard being in the dark. I know it's hard being around death. I know it's hard having to do the things that we have had to do. And I know that you just want to protect us and you want to protect me. But boss, you can't protect me if you're dead. And you can't save Tally.
He stiffens at that.
If you're
Pulls
dead.
away from her.
I need to know that I can count on you. Because everybody else that I love has failed me. Or turned out to be somebody that I didn't think that they were. And you're the only person that hasn't betrayed me, hasn't failed me. And I need you here. I need you alive. And you don't have to do any of this alone anymore. So I know it's hard, but you need to trust us. That we know what we're doing. And you need to trust yourself that you're not going to become who you used to be. Because you're not that man anymore.
I swore oaths, Red,
I
to
know.
help people, and I do trust you, but if it comes down to it, if I can save someone's life at the cost of my own, I will make that choice every single time.
But what if you could save both of our lives? What if by leaning on me and leaning on the others, everyone could live? It's not a zero-sum game. And
You don't want me leaning on you.
yes, I do, boss. I know. I don't know the details, but I know who you used to be. I know what you've been through a little bit, and I know what you're trying to run away from. And I know how you like your coffee, and I know what nuts you like, and I know what breakfast to have when you've been hungover, and I know how to read that ridiculous chicken scratch of yours, and I know that you need a nap after lunch or you can't pay attention to your meetings. I know all of it. That was my job, to know, to take care of you. I did it all secret because you had to be strong for yourself, but you are strong and you are good, and I can't pretend that you don't need my help anymore.
You're my best friend in the world, Red.
So let me...
I can't.
Yes, you can. It's scary. It's hard. It's awful. Trusting people with your darkness and the terrible things that you've done. It's hard and it's bad. It's hard to face all of that. And I'm not asking you to tell me. We don't have to go back there. We don't have to relive that. We just have to move on forward together with them. They've been through really bad shit too.
I'll try. That's all I can say is that I'll try.
Just trust us. Trust me. And if things go bad, we'll leave. But I don't think they'll go bad.
Okay.
Lionel wants to hang out with you again.
No, he doesn't. I
He
know a
felt-
safe word when I heard one.
He
I'm not an
felt-
idiot.
He felt really bad. He just told me. He said
He's-
before, but
I think he'll have a better time with you.
I can't carry that sword, and you need a sword.
Garnet,
Yeah?
tell him my real name is the Guiltless Blade.
Lionel says his real name is the Guiltless Blade. What does that mean, Lionel?
I can't kill anyone.
Lionel says he can't kill anyone. So you won't ever hurt, you won't kill them.
I just put them to sleep.
They sleep. They just fall asleep.
I don't want to force anyone onto me like that. Eve, sword or no?
Lionel, do
Yes.
you want to hang out with Bourbon? Do you want to be his sword?
I believe we need one another. But I would like to talk with you now
Of
and again.
course. We're friends. I clean all his stuff anyway at home. I mean,
Well, tell him then it is time for us to go to work.
why don't you tell him yourself? And I hold out the sword.
Corbin reaches out a hand and slowly takes the sword back.
As soon as you make contact with it, you hear the voice, subdued this time. Let us start again. My name is Lionel the Guiltless Blade. I will work with you. And hopefully...
In his mind he'll say, I'm Corbin. There are some things that you should know before you even decide this. And I don't know if it's possible, but he's going to try to open his mind to the blade to let the blade know exactly what happened in his past. It's going to open the floodgates.
Lionel seems to take it all in, and then you see in your memory that are not memories that are not your own, you see Lionel the blade being wielded as it cuts through innocent and guilty alike, not putting them to sleep. You see blood and gore marking the passage of this blade. And then you see a circle of clerics, of priests, as they do something to Lionel. He's not sure exactly what it is, but from that point forward, you see that he can only put people to sleep. And the violence and the savagery are gone. And then you hear Lionel's voice. I do believe we were destined for one another.
Maybe we can keep each other in check.
Agreed.
Thank you, Red. I'm going to take some time down here, if that's okay. Oh, you're muted.
She was just speaking real quietly.
Yeah.
Can we talk to the druid when we wake up? It's not hurting them, it's just...
I know. I just don't want to drag them along.
If their soul is already gone, then we won't be able to talk to them. But if their soul is here, we could help.
All right.
Perry's gone. They have them.
He'll hug her. I know. Get him back, I promise.
I love him so much. He hurt me so bad, Gorbrin. He broke my heart into it. So, but I can't leave him. I need to know why.
We'll find those answers, all right? We'll find them. We'll find him.
You're not allowed to beat him up. That's my job.
I think you should worry about Kyogen in that respect.
Well, that's why I'm not telling them the whole story.
We could always put him to sleep. You hear a whisper in your mind.
Let's not attack our friends, even if you're not able to kill them.
Put a pin in it.
Yeah. Keep an eye on Hall, okay?
Yeah, she's fine.
I don't trust her.
She's harmless. She just doesn't like to tell. She doesn't like to tell her secrets, but nobody likes to tell their secrets. But she's not scheming against us.
I don't know what her
Multitude.
business is with Black Coke, but
I think they just like each other.
And with that, we're going to pull away from Gorbrin and Garnet, and we're going to go back into the tower. But at this point, I will ask the party. It is now that you're going to be offered your long rest inside Karis's magnificent chicken foot clawed tiny hut with the waffle fixture in the middle. If there's anything you want to do before your long rest, you may tell me what you would like to do. If not, it is 8 hours later.
I would like to have taken the body inside and placed it on my bed and arranged it very respectfully and used some seeds from my herbalism pouch and druidcraft to make her like a little crown of white roses.
Okay. You can do so.
And then I will just sit next to the bed and sit cross-legged in trance.
Anybody else? Okay. So the next morning passes. You all wake up at your various intervals. 4 hours for the trance, 8 hours for a long rest. We're going to say that as everything passes, you have no encounters during the night. But when you wake up, there is still the corpse of the druid, arrayed in the same way that Dirna Hall just explained. At this point, you all can, the hut disappears. What would you all like
I catch
to
the
do
body.
now? Oh yeah, it doesn't just. I know that you're aware it's going to disappear, so yeah, you're able to keep it from like clattering. Karis?
Karis kind of gives an eye to Gorbrin as she slowly walks over to the body.
he'll meet her gaze and then go back to the steps and just like pull out his pipe and just watch downstairs to make sure that nobody comes up while they do this, but he's not willing to look.
And when we are done, I will perform funeral rites so that this body cannot be turned into an undead for at least 7 days.
That seems like a lovely plan. Deanna Hall and Garnet, I would like you to have you by my side as I cast this, just because I know that there's probably questions that you will know how to ask better than I, although I will have to be the one that asks them. But this way we make sure we cover all of our bases. I have 5 things that I can ask this druid. Where do we want to start?
Mechanically, I will let you know this. If you don't tell me before you say something from this point forward, as soon as you cast the spell, unless you say this is out of character, I assume everything that you're saying is in the presence of the corpse with the spell active.
This is why I'm trying to sort things out before I cast the spell.
Okay. Just so
I know
we're
your
clear.
tricks and wiles, Greg.
No, I'm being nice. I'm letting you know. So
I've had this spell used against me before, so
good. Then you are prepared, sort of.
Just
Okay.
Telepathically communicate into my mind when you have a question that you want to ask me.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that first.
Yeah, we should probably sort out our list of questions before the spell is cast.
Yeah,
Well, I don't quite know what you want to know from her.
Well, we want to know who killed her, any idea of her or their arms and equipment, I suppose. What she had on her that they took, so we know what power they are wielding, and if possible, what direction they went.
Well, I know what direction they went.
Okay, well then we don't need to ask that.
Corbin will pitch in to the side. If you can ask her how she wants to be buried.
Yes, that will be our final question.
He'll
Or how
motion
she would
to
like
you.
to be laid to rest. because she might not want to be buried.
So we have who killed you, what items did they take from you. I'm figuring by the way that the spell is constructed, it would be a separate question to ask what those items do. If we are curious enough to ask, because I feel like her just saying, oh, it was my staff and mirror, isn't very helpful. So maybe if we ask what, we could split it to what does the staff do, what does the mirror do?
But she might have had things in her pockets that we don't know about.
True. So let's do, what does staff do? Cars isn't actually writing all this down. This is Blinya trying to do this good.
Okay. Just let me know whenever you cast the spell, and we can go from there.
I hope she doesn't want a burial at sea.
That would be awkward. I mean, there is water back there, so it wouldn't be sea, but it would be something. So who killed you? What does the staff do? What does the mirror do? Did they take anything else from you? And then how do you want to be laid to rest? Are we satisfied? Is there anything else we want to change out?
I mean, I think we know who killed them. Maybe ask if they said anything.
We could ask if they said anything or if she knew any of the people. Like personally. But maybe they said anything.
Maybe why they killed her. Ask why.
But that means she might have just been in their way. Or she might have had something. But we might be able to infer that if we ask what other things they took first.
Okay. I mean, it's pretty obvious who killed her.
Yeah.
So, did they say anything about where they were going?
I think if we just boil that down to did they say anything, because that could include where they were going, or they could have said something but nothing about where they were going.
Yeah. Did they say anything before you died?
Did you hear them say anything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kyogen, do you want to watch the stairs with me?
Ars makes eye contact. Kyogen and is like, yeah.
Sure.
Okay.
He brings out his pipe, then looks at it, then kind of brings it to you. It's good tobacco.
While I appreciate the offer, friend, I don't partake.
It's fair. Have you met Guiltless yet?
Oh, you mean the talking sword?
And he's gonna talk to Guiltless and do you mind if I let him touch you?
I don't like to be passed around, but
I'm just
fine.
trying to get you familiar with the rest of the party.
I can hear them.
Okay.
If he can talk, I will hear him.
He doesn't want to be touched.
Well, it is your sword, so...
It's not my sword. He's
We're
a
partners.
partner. And he'll look at the sword, because when they say that at the same time.
So, before our rest, Karis may have pointed out something that probably was a leading cause as to why I did what I did yesterday. You and I are more alike than I think we realize.
There's one difference.
He looks down. Haha, you're right. I am not
No.
shiny.
I'm not talking about that. when you made the choice, you didn't make the wrong one.
If I were to stand here and say that my life isn't full of regrets, then I would be a liar.
You know what I was scared most about that fight?
What's that?
I saw the look in your eyes. I know that look. I was scared that you'd fall.
The darkness is very enticing. But
It is.
do you know what pulled me back from the edge?
No.
For my whole life, I've been trying to get vengeance for my family and closing other people out. And now, there in that moment where I was going to be able to get my vengeance, all I could think about was not losing my new family. What say if we work together to make sure that we both keep away from that darkness? And he offers out this big gauntlet-covered hand.
And he'll look at you and he'll clasp your hand and he'll say, trying to be like kind of like an oath or a toast kind of thing. May the screams of those we knew fade.
Kyogen looks at him and looks at the sword. It is a really nice sword. I think you should give him more of a chance.
No, he is a nice sword. We've been talking. Couldn't sleep much.
Agreed. I'm sorry.
And with that, the sort of bro hug handshake moment, Kyogen just sort of goes back to stoically watching the stairs as he tries to get away from that emotion as quickly as possible.
Yeah, they both just kind of go to the sides, like,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
just kind of watch the stairs.
As we pull away from the scene of the blossoming bromance, we'll leave with Lionel saying to Gorbrin, "Oh, I hope these stairs don't act up. They're in for a good thumping." As we go back over to Karis. Are you ready to perform your spell, Karis?
Karis very solemnly sits cross-legged next to the body and rustles up some incense to burn, flicks that on, and kind of like waves it head to toe, toe to head, and says the magic words, and casts Speak with Dead.
Without ceremony, and beneath the kind of crown of flowers that Dearna Hall had prepared, you see two brilliant blue eyes snap open. And you hear not an inhalation, but you hear the crack of muscles and the shifting of rib bones, as if the body is remembering to breathe and then realizing it does not need to.
Hello. I am Karis, and we are all friends of Amber. We would like to ask you a few questions. What does your staff do? And I describe the staff, but I can't remember exactly how it's described. Pretty.
You hear the voice come up, but the lips do not move, but the articulation is enough where you can hear and understand everything that she's saying. But as it kind of comes out like a spring wind, you hear, "It is a staff of flower."
What does your mirror do? The one with the 3 faces.
It is not mine.
Did she say, out of character, did she say she? Like she the mirror she? Did I hear she is not mine?
No, it is not mine.
It, okay, I'm just like, that's interesting. Okay, it is not mine. Cool. Back in character. Did they take anything else from your body while you were alive or dead?
There's almost a moment of introspection by the wording of your question, but it seems as if the spell compels an answer. And as the druid, even in this vague twilight, undeath is not fighting you. As you ask the question, did they take anything? You hear, Alistair took everything.
Did you hear anyone in the black cloaks, any of the 7, with or without their hoods off, say anything?
Again, there's this long, as if the memory of this creature is going back to a moment that may have been far removed from the moment of death. I told them I would help them.
I write down on a piece of paper and show it to Deanna and Garnet. And on this paper, that is not a question that I speak aloud, so don't you dare, Greg. I write and I show to them the question that Kars has written, which is, should I ask why she would help them, or with what? Like, help them with what? Or should I ask about being laid to rest?
We only have the one question left.
Mm-hmm.
I think we have to respect Gorprin's.
Does Deanna say anything?
Telepathically, she says, well, we already know what their motives were, so would asking them asking what she was going to help with really matter?
Kars just nods to herself and asks the final question of, how would you like us to lay you to rest?
Again, a pause. I will return in 30 days.
We love an archdruid. That's lit.
Take the body with us. That way we can perform last rites every 7 days so that she does not turn into an undead.
Just have an archdruid with us. I just think she'd be so happy about it, just like taking her from her Willowwood, though. And what about her kitty? Oh no.
The kitty will probably come back too.
Yeah, she's an archdruid. She can.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
She can incarnate into an owlbear.
Okay.
The eyes go closed.
So it is complete. And Kars turns to not like shout, but speak loudly enough to be heard across the room to Gorbrin. And she says, worry not, Gorbrin. She is clearly powerful and says that she will return within 30 days. It's a good thing that we did not bury her or burn her body. Otherwise, who knows how she could have gotten back. But she will be all right.
Either way, I start performing funeral rites just to keep her from being turned undead.
Absolutely.
Hey, should we be worried about the fact that she said that she was going to help them and she's coming back and might help them?
Oh, definitely. So we should finish up before 30 days.
Gorbrin, you won't hear this, but Kyogen will, but you'll see him like just grumble, just and just like a big old puff of smoke.
With that in mind, maybe we should bury the body.
I mean, I would like to think that we'd be out from under this mountain in less than 30 days.
Yeah, she'll probably have some magic that'll get her out anyway, and then she'll be mad at us. So
I'd rather her not be mad at us.
Yep.
I left her with hopefully the thought that we are friends of Amber and that might leave us in her good-ish books. Neutral, perhaps. I feel like neutral is a good place to be.
Mhm.
Probably.
Lay her
She's
up
somebody
against a
in
tree
house
outside.
So. But she's in our house now.
Is there a bed?
Chair.
There's the chair that looks like a bench. Yeah, it's a raised bench that's made out of like curled roots and branches and things like that. You know, druid chic.
Yeah, I'll drag her over there during the funeral rites and lay her on there.
That sounded a lot ruder than I'll just drag her over. And okay, yes, I understand you're doing everything delicately. And yeah, you have her placed. Funereal rites have been performed. She is protected for a week.
Hey, Diarna.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure we all have our own very individual reasons for coming down here, both the ones that we tell each other and the ones that we keep to ourselves, yada yada. We don't tell each other everything, which is fine. I personally do not know much about the motives of the Seven beyond being generally terrible. Would it be alright if I asked you if you had more specific ideas of their goals? Because it did sound like you had.
Oh,
more
they
of
are
an
trying to
idea.
destabilize and destroy the weave.
Do we know why?
Because I think they believe they will then use divine magics to gain control over the world.
Kyogen's father did say something about ridding the world of arcane magic.
Yep.
So I can see the link there.
Yep. And that's why I'm here, to stop that, because I happen to be very fond of arcane magic, and in a world without it, there will be, at least a world suddenly without it, there will be a time of great turmoil and anguish and pain. Ooh.
I must say, I would feel very much the same. I do not feel fondly of the divine. How long have you been studying the arcane? It must have been longer than me, because you feel, not to make comments on your age, but far older than I. I feel like I must be rather young compared to you.
Not that long, only a couple thousand years.
Time is relative, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully we can fix all of this so neither of us have to go through that adjustment period, but clearly your draw will be worse than mine, so.
Garnet.
Let's pick up something else.
Sorry. While they're all talking, Garnet's like getting antsier and antsier about like leaving, and eventually she's just like, I'm gonna scout ahead, okay? And just like starts running down the path.
We should probably follow her because we don't want anyone to go off alone, because that's dangerous.
That is dangerous. Thank you for telling me, Diana. I appreciate it.
I mean, someone just had to ask.
Sometimes I just don't know if I know the right questions, but when we do, I'm sure that we'll get everything sorted out.
Everything will die anyway.
Someday. Doesn't have to be today.
Someday is often sooner than anyone expects. And she just flies off on her broom.
Okay, so stealthy people roll the stealth, and I'm assuming Garnet's in the lead. Is anybody staying behind? The body has been prepped and laid to rest, and it seems that your time here in the Willowwood laid to nap.
I did want to take a sec. Like, not like too long, but as the group moves, he's gonna go over to the body, just gonna inspect it and check the last Rites spell.
Ceremony.
Yeah, ceremony.
Roll a religion check for me.
Gotcha. Okay, well, that is going to be a 19.
Okay. Is it a last rites ceremony?
Yeah. And it's from her rituals book, so it probably is a general last rites spell that calls upon good and neutral gods and not her particular patron.
Non-denominational?
Yeah.
In that case, give me 1 sec, because I have a table for this. Because 1 sec. Okay, so Gorbrin's gonna take a second as they're walking to just inwardly pray. And the god that he's gonna pray to, according to this table, is Mistra. And he's just gonna reach out and just kind of say, I don't know what's going on, but all this stuff with the weave and Hallister. I don't know much magic, but I know that you are magic. You're the true spell. If you have any guidance at all, I would appreciate it.
I'll take some too, you hear Lionel say as your prayer. Okay, I see some stealth rolls as you all are stealthing. Again, for Garnet, this is getting to the point now, whenever you're following the 7, it's very difficult for you to lose this trail. The rest of you have no idea what she's following. Even the most skilled among you do not see what she apparently is following in the footfalls of these 7. You are the proverbial bloodhound now, Garnet. You have caught whatever scent it is, whether it's mystical, divine, whatever it is, you've targeted them. And so you're able to follow it directly, and you all wind for the better part of 6, 7, 8 hours as you are walking. You weave through the end of the wood, and then you dip down back into a more familiar, the darkness of the rough-hewn caverns. And as you go down into the caverns and you proceed into the depths of Undermountain again, you begin to hear that the normal sounds of the caves, the chitterings and the running and dripping of the water. And the only difference is, whereas before, when you would kind of go into these rough natural caverns, you would occasionally see these splits that were either like steam chutes or water runoffs or just other cracks and tunnels. This one seems to be singular and straight. It does not branch. It does not go somewhere else. And as you go and continue along this path, Garnet, you eventually run into a cut area where the rough-hewn crack becomes a humanoid-made cylinder. And as you walk through it, it ends in what looks like a white, rough, almost like chalk type of screen that is over the end of this tunnel.
Sorry, there's just like a wall, just like a...
I imagine that you walked into the back of dried bubblegum or
Gross.
like stucco, like some type of like, plaster type of, that's what it runs into.
Can I like hear anything on the other side of the wall? Like, is this somebody's house that I'm just about to like bust into?
Yeah, roll me a perception check.
Does it beat my 25 passive?
And well, the passive is for I checked. The passive is for the area in which you're in.
Okay,
you're
fine.
extending your senses.
Fair.
So
No, that's fair. That's a 26.
okay. What languages do you speak?
Common, Elvish, and Sylvan.
You hear voices. You do not understand them.
Does it feel like how like flimsy does it feel?
Roll me an investigation check.
Oh, I have to do more complicated math for that. 14.
It's hard to say. Like, if you kind of like, how are you? Tell me how you're investigating this, and I'll tell you what happens.
I want to like, I guess like, kind of get a feel for it to feel how like, without like tapping very obviously, but like I just kind of like want to get a feel for like, is this something that is like easily broken through? Does this something that I need one of the like beefy boys for? Like,
as you're kind of taking your nail along it and checking it, and we'll say at this point the rest of the group kind of saddles up behind you, as you are kind of like moving your nail across it, you chip off a piece just with your nail. So you figure it's not that. There seems to be some type of almost like a wire mesh that it seems to be like you kind of hit a bit of metal that seems to be woven as you're going through it.
does it feel like this is a secret door that I could find a thing to, or like somebody bust through their door?
Yeah, sort of like that. It seems like it seems more man-made, obviously, than the walls of the tunnel around you. But
okay, can I look for like a way to open it without breaking it?
With the investigation check that you just had, you don't see any type of seam in this.
Okay.
Whatever this is.
Can I press my ear up to the rock while she's inspecting it?
Sure. Roll a perception check.
I don't understand what they're saying. She'll say.
Okay. That's gonna be an 18.
What languages do you speak?
Gorbrin speaks. Let me pull it up just so I don't forget. Common, Infernal, and Undercommon.
In Undercommon, you hear the following. What the hell are you doing? I told you. Warm this up, for God's sakes.
It's Undercommon.
I mean, that makes sense.
They're talking about warming something up. Do I hear anything else?
You just hear voices. Kind of a general white noise.
Sounds like rough characters. I don't think they're friendly.
Well, they're about to be super not friendly because we have to break through their wall. Not that hard to break, but...
Maybe I can push you guys through the weave onto the other side.
That would be good. I can only teleport places I can see.
In a wall.
Is that safe with the weave as it is right now?
Probably not.
Hey,
but I've survived so far.
I would like
Karis,
to keep all my bones in one place. Thank you.
You don't need all your bones.
I'm pretty sure that I need all my bones.
Hey, Karis, do you have any magic that could get us from one place to another place? Maybe. You know lots of magic.
I do. I've been working on it for a while because the melody was a little bit hard for me to tamp down. But my teacher called it Dimension Door. So theoretically, if I don't totally mess it up, it would be my first time doing it, so you would have to, sign a waiver or whatever to make sure that you wouldn't be mad at me if it did go wrong. Just, for my sake, because it's a learning experience for us all. But I can theoretically get you 500 feet in the direction. The question is, how far is another wall? How far is a pit of spikes?
We could also try burning this.
I mean, we could just break it down, but I thought maybe if we could just kind of like hop in, maybe with the boss, and they could like talk. I'm assuming we're doing this like not right in front of a very thin wall.
The thing about that, especially with Dimension Door, is it can only take 2 people at a time, and that is in one in addition to the caster.
Well, let's say so Carrots and the boss can go and be like, hey, there are some people on the other side of the wall. Can we just like move it?
But
and then they won't be mad at us for breaking their wall.
If they are individuals of ill intent, they might just, stab the 2 of them.
I'd like to see them try.
That.
They
And
might
we
stab
can also
her.
like hear, and then we can just break down the wall, because Gorbrin will be with us, and Gorbrin can just break down the wall. That'll be fine.
I do have smite.
Grumble,
Not
grumble.
Gorbrin, I'm sorry, Kyogen. I apologize. You're both very tall and very big.
It's like, just because we're big and tall, we're 2 different people.
I'm sorry.
It's like, he doesn't look like me at all. Look at him. Look at me.
They do look pretty different. It's like
Yeah.
one is like a beacon of light, the other is like a shadow person.
Well, anyway, the point is, there's one beefy boy in there who's like speaking Undercommon and can be like, hey, we're chill, we just need to like break your wall, we're really sorry. And then if it causes a fight, there's another beefy boy on this side that can break down the wall, and then we can help our friends.
That reminds me. Way back in the day, they originally tried to allow men to be witches, but they eventually decided to stop letting them be witches because they kept calling cauldrons big boy bowls.
That's a piece of arcane lore that I wasn't aware of.
Is that you trying to cast Tasha's hideous laughter, or
Just if you're gonna go.
I mean, we can do it, we can just break down the wall. It's fine. I just thought, Gorbrin likes to do things diplomatically, and this might be a chance to do things diplomatically.
Having been hired by the white lady, Kyogen's like, okay, I'll knock. And Bull rushes the wall.
No, he grabs him. He grabs him as he he sees the look. The look is like, no. No, that's not the plan.
Well,
You
wait.
Smash
No,
until Chorus
no.
says to smash.
Okay, that sentence took way too long, as he said he
It's
was
like-
charging.
So he
I
says
would
no
like-
and grabs him. He tries to grab him.
That this is PvP, so we like to do the comparative athletics here, everyone.
Okay.
Both of you roll
I-
athletics.
I'll roll this on roll 20 just to make it legit. 25?
Shit. Hold on, let me roll this.
Yes.
Okay, let me see what my left is. It's gonna be. Sorry, I'm thinking. It's gonna be 23, so no, he gets out of there.
You almost get it.
Spell.
Right. You
He's stronger
almost.
than me. He's stronger than me.
And as you hit this, what turns
Can they
out to
both just like bum rush through?
if Kayla says that it's okay for Gorbrin to go through, then they can just both kind of run,
Sure.
end up. Okay.
Sure.
So with a crack
Because
of
he's
plaster,
holding on to Kyogen.
yeah, as he's like hugging Kyogen, as Kyogen is dragging Gorbrin behind.
It's like no.
With the no, the wall explodes. There's dust everywhere. There are numerous gasps of shock as everything begins to settle, and you look around. Kyogen, Gorbrin, and then everyone looking in through the Kyogen-sized hole that was made in the wall. You see what looks like a kitchen. you see a Duergar standing there with an apron on, surrounded by goblins in various states of cooking things, and the Duergar looks at the hole, looks at the goblins, lowers his head, snaps his fingers, and two goblins covered in plaster show up with a bucket of slopping plaster that some of it goes into the stew and what they're cooking, and they run over with chicken wire as they begin to what looks to be a rather frequent occurrence of covering up the wall.
Sorry,
Goes over to the hole and tells them, wait, I brought wine.
As I bust through the wall, I totally go, "Oh yeah, that was fun."
Oh no.
I can pay for that.
But Dearney Hall is like walking through, pushing the goblins out of the way and holding a bottle of wine up.
They
Sorry.
all look, and the Duergar just waves and just says, "We've got it. Just customers out front." And he indicates an area that opens into a larger space.
Okay, we have 2 more coming in.
Oh, sorry, is this a frequent occurrence? People
Table for 5.
through into your kitchen?
At least once a 10-day.
I'm Gorbrin. These are my associates. The one that smashed through the wall is
You
Kyogen.
said customers out front. Let's go.
Yeah. He's waving now. Fine, go.
He'll just reach into his pack and pull like 6 gold. It's like, here you go, and just puts it on the chopping block. Just like, hope that pays for it. I'm sorry.
You see a goblin hand reaching for the stack of coins as the Duergar deftly pulls out a butcher's knife, slams it without looking towards the hand that retracts just in the nick of time as it strikes into the butcher block of the counter and leaves it kind of quivering. Grrr, reaches forward, grabs the coins, and puts them into his own purse. Right this way, my lord.
Maybe you should just make a door.
Do you know what else is out there?
Well, you like with a lock.
Boss won't pay for it.
Boss? Who's your boss? If I can ask.
Clients and customers out front.
Right. Sorry to disturb your work. It just walks awkwardly.
Dearney Hall's already left.
Same.
As you all round the corner into this it's much longer than it is wide, but this long kind of arcing, rounded structure, you see several people, humans, and you see various denizens of the Underdark, so to speak. As you see more Duergar, you see various humanoids, goblins, and then at the end of the area, you see who could only be the boss, as a great orb turns and looks in your direction with stalks coming off of this floating sphere, and a huge grin splits all the way up, nearly taking the orb in half.
Shit.
As you've met the boss. And that's where we'll end this session of Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Welcome to Skullport, everybody.
Lit.
Beholder? Oh,
Hell yeah.
God. We're gonna die.
No, it's fine.
Owns and runs a restaurant, you know.
Look, there's lots of people in Skullport. They actually get very upset if you treat them as monstrous.
He's just an honest
Yeah.
creature trying to make a living.
Just
out
an
of
honest beholder.
Think of
You
how
know?
easy it is to cook with a disintegration ray. I mean,
Yeah. He's using
Or how
his
hard.
Can't cook at all.
ability.
Right.
Also,
Look.
Look,
the name. You can't.
I
cook
mean,
it.
it'd be really easy to clean up.
Right. All right,
Take out the
everybody, let's go around and talk to you very fine people, as we'll start with my friend Kika. Kika, how are you this evening?
I'm pretty darn good. Had a great time. Got to chat with Hallister again, which is always interesting. Was very surprised to hear about his clones all getting killed. Oof. But yeah, should I tell people where I can find me around on the internet?
You sure can, and the link's in chat. And if not, if you're watching on YouTube with all of our wonderful people that have been making this quite the success for the channel on YouTube, look straight down and you'll see Kika's information. But go right ahead, Kika, and tell us from your own lips.
You can. The best way to keep track of where I am on the internet, given that I am on a bunch of different shows on a bunch of different channels, is to follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/KikaVO. You can also follow my baking Patreon at patreon.com/baking.
Fantastic. And we'll drop to my other friend, Lauren. Lauren, how are you this fine Thursday evening?
I am doing very, very well. I just super love this game, and I'm really glad to play it all the time. Shush, I'm doing an outro. Sorry. Yeah, I am jail_nice_girl on Twitter. I am Starving Soubrette on Twitch and YouTube. I play games on the internet with my friends. I write games, and you can check my Twitter for all of the things that I do. But I specifically want to shout out this week that Tales from the Grim fellow mastermind Kiana and I just put out the tabletop RPG safety toolkit. You can get it at bit.ly/ttrpg safety toolkit, and it is a link to a reference guide to kind of like get you familiar with a bunch of really common safety tools, as well as some other support and safety tools, some X cards. It's a thing we spent a whole lot of time on, and are planning to do some more panels and stuff on. And it's really cool, and you should check it out, because supporting your players or your fellow players through conversation is important.
Fantastic, my friend. Link is in chat. YouTube link is down below, and definitely check out the the player safety rule toolkit 2.0 or whatever it is. It's I know it's updated with a bunch of different additional...
Yeah, so it was the TTRPG, or it was the safety tool quick reference guide, and now it's called the safety toolkit, and it's not just about streaming. It's for all game online and off. Yeah.
Fantastic. And let's go over to my other friend, Kayla. Kayla, how are you doing this evening? I really enjoyed the interactions between Gorbrin and just about, I think, everybody. So it was a Gorbrin kind of night. How are you doing, my friend?
Thank you. It was good. I was having a lot of fun, and finally got to talk with Garnet about some stuff, which we needed to do like 10 episodes ago. But I'm Killa RPG. You can find me on twitch.tv and twitter.com at Koros RPG. I talk about D&D and games and all that stuff, and I run a game on the Soulbear RPG channel on Sundays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which Kika is in, called The Shattered Eye, and we're having an interesting session this week, so be sure to check that out. But not only that, I think on June 14th, I'm going to be on a show that has called The Children of Menzo Baranzan, and it's going to be a full cast of trans folk playing trans drow characters, so it should be fun. It'll be interesting. But yeah, go check that out. And it'll be on the Phantom Roll booth. So
awesome, on the Phantom Roll booth. Great. Everybody, Kayla's Twitter link is in chat. Follow, please, so you can join and support great shows all around. As we go over to my other friend, Blenny, you did some fun stuff with cars tonight, but I think my favorite thing was the massive amounts of fucking snark that were flying around tonight. It was great. It was my favorite. I loved it very, very much. How are you, my friend, this fine
I'm
Thursday
doing
evening?
great. Today was a great episode. So good. You can find me on Twitter at BlinyaB, BLINNEBE. I'm doing lots of things. I'm playing in this, and I'm also on Call Me Caulfield's Viturium podcast, which releases midnight on Saturdays, which you can check out on like Apple and Spotify and other fun podcast places. They have a link to the Twitter profile in my profile, so you can check that out. I'm also a contributor for Volume 2 of Uncaged, which is going to be releasing in the next couple of weeks, which is very, very exciting. And then I'm also one of the contributing writers for Back to the Basics, which is a set of monster encounters rather than full-fledged modules, which is very exciting. It's kind of, we're trying to give a new spin to monsters that people see as like standard, which is going to be a great thing. And I think that's coming out in the fall. So yeah, follow me for updates on other things that I might be writing and playing in the meantime, and I'll see you around.
Fantastic, my friend. Links in chat, links down below for YouTube folk as we come around the horn full circle. Jason, my friend, how are you? How's Kyogen this fine Thursday evening? And he did get to bust through a wall.
Yeah. It was a good way to sort through the overly emotional issues that he had earlier, and the epiphany that Karis pushed him towards, that I didn't even really realize until she said something. But yeah, doing well. You can find me on Twitter at JasonTDNDDM. After a very successful charity stream for Jasper's Game Day a few weeks back, I've got a one shot, possibly more, that I'm going to be DMing on the Mini Terrain Domain channel. I've been asked to step out of the player shoes and into a DMing role, and my Twitter followers have been harassing me to do it. So yeah, it's going to happen. And yeah, my first stream games. We'll see how that goes.
It's gonna be so good.
Awesome, my friend. Everybody, again, links in chat, links down below for YouTube. Everybody, definitely check out Mini Terrain Domain. Great content over there, and a great cause earlier for Jasper's Game Day. Fantastic. As for me, I'm Grimjack21502 on the Twitter, part of the Tales from the Grim team here on the Twitch. Follow us around here. We have a little bit of 1950s sci-fi, Twin Peaks-esque investigative drama every Sunday at 4 with Sky Chasers. We have some fun, crazy urban shadows, GM'd by the lovely Lauren, every Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then on Wednesdays, we have our Dark Dragonlands D&D 5e, DM'd by the lovely Dawn. May Black Roses Bloom. And then I will be beginning my D&D long form campaign a little bit later this summer. Look for cast announcements and other fun stuff that's going to be happening soon. But be back here next week, everyone, as the Dungeon from the Mad Mage crew gets to meet a little fellow by the name of Xanathar. Until then, everybody.
It is him. Oh.
Until then, everybody, have a fantastic week, a better weekend. Keep yourselves happy, kind, and play some D&D. But as the campfire goes down, there is only one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, but you can always roll play. We'll see you next time.